Guilty pleasures. We all love a little crap here and there, and there's nothing wrong with that. And today I feel like taking a break from the films I consider great or others consider great and simply scavenging my favorite trash can. There's a lot of trash in the world, but this is my trash. The garbage I enjoy watching more than all the others.
My goodness, this is strong shampoo.
Casino Royale. Of course, I'm talking about the official James Bond spoof from 1967 with an all-star cast, which had 6 directors and 10 screenwriters. If it sounds like nothing coherent could come out of it, you're being optimistic. To call it a mess or incomprehensible would be, as one of its 10 screenwriters would say, a masterpiece of understatement. The film had a long, troublesome production history, which is not what I'll go over. I'll put a link to it in the description, but all I want to do is cover the plot, or whatever you'd call the thing that fills the plot-shaped hole in this madness. If you haven't seen the movie, I could recommend you to watch it first, but then you'd hate it and me. You can just enjoy the ride. I'll tell you everything that happens here and you'll get an idea. Here is the terrible, terrible chaos Casino Royale, which I love.
So long, suckers!
We open in a pissoir. I watched this film a million times as a teen before learning that this thing was a public urinal.
These are my credentials.
They appear to be in order.
So it's like that guy showing his dick, get it? In this first scene, Peter Sellers is James Bond, which he won't be until 1 hour into the movie. It's a flash forward then, meaning that the filmmakers, at least one soul here, thought that this 25-second dick joke was so funny that it was worth confusing the audience to introduce this ultra-expensive all-star extravaganza.
These are my credentials.
It's this joke than opening
They
credits.
appear to be in order.
I think I forgot to mention, this film is a comedy that's 131 minutes long and it's just not funny. It's not funny. Why do I love a long, terrible comedy that's not even funny? Look, we're gonna go over countless things that make way less sense, so don't worry about it. Opening credits and you see the only thing on point here, Burt Bacharach's soundtrack. It's the best. One of my favorite soundtracks ever, easily my favorite comedy soundtrack, and not even in a guilty pleasure kind of way. The credited directors are Giga Chad John Huston, Ken Hughes, Val Guest, Robert Parrish, Joseph McGrath, and Val Guest again? Is that a DGA thing? Did they think we could identify exactly which portions of the film each of them made based on these little snippets here? So he had to have a second one with no snippets at all? Whatever. 3 screenwriters get credit, but there were also, you won't believe it, the greatest screenwriter of all time, Billy Wilder, revolutionary counterculture novelist Terry Southern, the writer of Catch-22 Joseph Heller, the practical inventor of the sound screenplay Ben Hecht, and cast members Peter Sellers and Woody Allen. Not counting that hilarious pissing joke, what an opening! I count 7 sequences in this film. Here's the first one. The heads of the CIA, MI6, French intelligence and KGB all meet up. They're here to find the original James Bond. Whoever wrote this scene was kind enough to make it inclusive for blind viewers.
I forgot to mention lions. Lions and more lions. We're surrounded by lions.
We find David Niven as James Bond. And for some reason he can't stop stuttering.
Sexual acrobat who leaves a trail of beautiful dead women like blown roses behind him.
They tell him their spies are getting killed off all around the world and they need Bond to come out of retirement and defeat their mysterious nemesis. If you'd like an example of what low, unimaginative writing looks like, here's one. James mentions the gadgets he immediately identified in each of the spy masters.
With your tricked carnation that spits cyanide.
And we don't see any of them in use.
And you, Legrand, with different deadly poison in each of your fly buttons.
At most, one of them tinkles, and the dialogue says they tinkle.
But an armory concealed in your grotesque boots. Listen to them tinkle.
So many opportunities for jokes involving poison and fire, and we take none of them. Don't tell me they didn't have the money, you know they did. Anyway, James Bond wants to keep up his retirement, so John Huston's M lights up a signal to...
There's McTerry's signal. Stand by. 0, on!
Blow up his house. So he won't have a retirement to enjoy and will be forced to work for the guy who blew up his house? I guess. Well, they blow up his house. The explosion ends up killing M himself, off-screen. But it doesn't matter, it's not like M's death is gonna become a major plot point, right? Oh, it is? The next 21 minutes of film revolve around his death, and they couldn't even show it! What happened? It's not like John Huston wasn't available, he's the director! How do you fuck it up this bad? Let's just go to the next sequence. It's the worst. I love this movie, I do, against everything that's logical or minimally sensible, I really do. But boy do I hate this sequence. It drags so much. I can't explain it. There's this black hole that opens up whenever this part is playing, and these 21 minutes feel like half the movie. Now the story, you gotta piece these things together. M died and James Bond is now head of MI6, and he will do the thing they asked, but first he's gonna bring M's mortal remains, that's a wig, to his widow in Scotland, and spend days there. But Smersh has replaced the staff, people, family of M's estate with their crew of beautiful women. They want to seduce Bond to ruin his celibate reputation, and kill him if they fail. Yes, that's it. And Deborah Carr is having the time of her life playing Agent Mimi, who's playing M's widow. They tell Bond M was heir to this tradition-heavy estate,
To the laird! To the laird!
with 11 daughters ranging from 16 to 19 years old. They used to undress and bathe Daddy, and David Niven really sells the facial expressions of finding out your boss was secretly a cult-leading sexual predator.
Your daddy really was a different man in Whitehall.
There's this scene where everyone passes out but Bond, and there's no explanation whatsoever as to what happened. Was the wine poison? He was immune and they were dumb enough to drink it? Let's go with that. Doesn't explain the Pipers though. Mimi tries to seduce Bond. The door isn't even moving to make that sound, jeez. There's a crew member in that mirror. Oh boy, this is top talent. He resists and is forced to play a ball-throwing game with the Pipers. And I must say, this first shot of the competition is pretty terrific. Even at the bottom of his game, John Huston was worth watching. Sometimes. James wins, of course, and Mimi falls in love with him. She goes down a pipe like Nissan up a fence, then she helps him beat an explosive bird scheme by using his suspenders to catapult the magnetic button they placed on his... This film is so stupid. Just shoot him in the face. Then there's arguably the worst moment from classic Hollywood, if it counts.
Jamie.
My dear.
It's supposed to be funny, but Niven and Carr are so bad here.
The one after Mata Hari.
The use of music too, the timing, what were you on, John?
I'm going to another world. There's a convent over that hill.
The dialogue,
James Bond, my Joe.
My dear. Oh, God.
I swear, half of this sequence, a fourth of the movie is this 2-minute two-shot here. He had no suspenders, see? It's a comedy. Mercifully, the Scotland portion ends and James Bond gets to MI6, and as soon as he does, he kisses Moneypenny on the mouth. Who wouldn't? We get a Woody Allen cameo, and that's a great example of when the direction and the writing are not in sync. He has some obviously self-written lines and they don't fit the rhythm of the scene.
You can't shoot me.
I have a very low threshold of death. My doctor says I can't have bullets enter my body at any time.
There's more walking than talking, so there's this weird silence and mumbling.
What if I said I was pregnant?
James Bond has the brilliant idea of naming every MI6 agent James Bond to confuse the enemy.
The enemy won't know which way to turn.
Let me say it off the bat that this has zero effect on the movie. There's not 1 second of screen time of the enemy getting confused. Nor is this plot point, which was the major publicity hook, mentioned again at any point.
Peter Sellers is James Bond. Ursula Andress is James Bond. Joanna Pettit is James Bond. Woody Allen is James Bond. Dahlia Lavi is James Bond.
And Bond learns that Smersh is using beautiful women to assassinate MI6 horny agents. So Moneypenny must find an agent no woman can resist, so they can train him to resist women. They should train them all, but okay. Moneypenny throws a kissing audition to find the sexiest agent, I guess.
I volunteer! I volunteer!
This guy, Coop, he wins and they train him in body slamming women. By the way, none of this matters. All these plot points are ignored forever. There is never a scene when a Smersh agent tries to seduce Coop. Hell, he doesn't even appear again, until the climax, when he does nothing. This was all a big waste of time. But hey, at least there was Barbara Boucher's face. In the next sequence, Bond hires super-rich spy Vesper Lind to honeypot Evelyn Tremble, a Baccarat expert into playing against Le Chiffre. Remember, this is supposed to be based on Casino Royale? It kinda starts here. By the way, Baccarat expert. Do you know the rules of Baccarat? Yeah, nobody does, but it's this. You bet on A or on B. The dealer does everything and tells you if you won or lost. That's it. You don't play. It's the roulette of card games. But they play a variation where you do play. You choose if you draw a card or not. That's as far as playing goes. It still doesn't explain how having $100,000 makes you win.
Well, you'll remember that in order to operate my system completely free of risk, a stake of £100,000 is required.
That makes no sense. Betting more money can't guarantee you'll get a good random card, which is literally all you need. Don't tell me it's supposed to be a joke. There's no way this plot point was intended as a joke. The director is clearly not going for laughs here. The actors are playing it dead serious. By the way, Peter Sellers thought he was gonna honest to goodness play James Bond in this film.
Bond. James Bond.
He was pissed that he, the comedy actor, had been hired for a comedy role.
Yes, James Bond.
Yes, James Bond.
So he never completed his scenes and they had to edit around him. And no, they didn't pull it off at all. You'll see. Let's abandon this plotline now. We'll be back. James Bond, the original, travels to find his abandoned daughter, Mata Bond, who's a dancer in an Indian temple. Why not? I have never in my life seen a dance so out of sync with the music. There's no way they were dancing on set to that tune we got in the film. How do they mess the simplest things in this film? The only synchronization between image and sound is in David Niven's push-in here. After this dancing ordeal, Bond hires Mata to join a female spy school in Berlin to disrupt Smersh's schemes. She takes a taxi from London to Berlin, and the Berlin bit is by far the best part of the movie. It's directed by Ken Hughes, and he's clearly the only director who was having any fun at work. The music is crazy, set spoof German expressionism, angles are slanted, even affecting how Mata walks. There are many creative compositions that are wide and deep. There's some nice use of color and fast motion. It's great when the director gets the memo that it's a comedy. Mata gets to her dead mother's bedroom and there's my favorite joke in the movie. I have no way of proving this, but I have no doubt that it was written by Billy Wilder. It absolutely sounds like him.
Hey, Hey, what an enormous bed.
The German army was very large in those days.
I love this joke. Mata finds Le Chiffre's money-raising auction of blackmailing material. Everyone attending has a different bidding method.
We'll do our bidding sitting down. When we're standing up, we're not bidding.
We stand, we bid. We no stand, we no bid.
Well, I don't know, actually. A sort of a bit of both, I suppose, really. Is that all right with you, chaps?
I love this guy. This had the potential to be the funniest part of the film, but it goes on too fast and plays second fiddle to Mata talking to the taxi driver.
200,000 American dollars.
100,000 pounds. A wagon load of vodka. 70 million tons of rice.
She disrupts the auction and they think war started.
Hey, Vanilla. Look, I'm afraid I shan't be able to get back for dinner. Huh? There's sort of war's broken out.
Who's this guy? I love this guy. He's the best. Jack Willem, it seems. Damn great career. Rewatching the film for this video, I only chuckled during this sequence. And I only laughed out loud here.
Give me those films.
To be honest, I do remember almost everything from the film. And I didn't remember that bit.
Give me those films.
We end with a prophetic Berlin Wall joke. Back to Evelyn. We get to the timeline that opened the movie.
These are my credentials.
Evelyn needs to play Baccarat with Le Chiffre because he failed to raise money with the auction.
Just have to raise the money.
But how?
How? By playing Baccarat.
Wait, wasn't Evelyn hired to play Baccarat before Mata ruined the auction? Are these three sequences in non-chronological order? Just go with it. He's seduced by Jacqueline Bisset, and there's a dream sequence which was obviously made out of unused footage. Orson Welles does some magic as Le Chiffre, and I like this joke.
An illusion taught to me by an ancient vegetarian.
There's a joke about a one-way mirror which I watched the film 100 times before I realized it was meant to be a joke.
The man in the white coat is Le Chiffre. Oh, don't be afraid, it's a one-way mirror.
Which way?
That way.
Timing, guys, timing! Why is everyone playing so serious? And the director could have used some music or different angles to accentuate it's a joke. Anyway, Sellers plays with Welles. And those two hated each other so much they obviously shot separately.
Oh, no, that's finished, is it?
Evelyn uses his betting high to automatically win strategy. Somehow his bet makes Le Chiffre draw a bad card, a real-life pay-to-win. So, Vesper is kidnapped. Evelyn references the movie Grand Prix, I think,
I am faster in my Lotus Formula 3.
and is captured off-screen. And this is the choppiest and most incomprehensible part of the film. And you know that's saying something. Le Chiffre tortures Evelyn with more outtakes. Then Vesper turns out to be a double agent and kills Evelyn. But Sellers wasn't there to shoot being shot and they use a zoomed-in still frame. Man... To compensate, Le Chiffre is killed in a funny way.
All I need is 24 hours. It's too late.
Time for the last sequence. Mata has short hair now and is kidnapped by a UFO. At this point, what can I say to surprise you? Bond and Moneypenny go to Casino Royale to save her and they get into a fight. After the fight, it turns out the thugs had guns all along. Okay. They do a brilliant move and escape through some groovy hallways. Then Bond finds out the mastermind behind it all is his incompetent nephew Jimmy Bond. And his grand scheme is killing every man above 4'6" and making every woman on Earth beautiful. So he'll finally score. Man, you only have beautiful women working for you already. Keep it moving. Remember that woman who trained Coop for a minute in that one scene in the third sequence? No? Who's Coop? Well, anyway, she's important now, and she's got a killer burn.
You are a wretched, grotesque, ridiculous, insignificant little monster.
Jimmy says he created an aspirin that turns whoever drinks it into a walking atomic bomb. Then he reveals his evil scheme. No, a second evil scheme. The height beautiful women one. We're past that. It will never be mentioned again. His scheme is killing all world leaders and replacing them with his doubles.
In 5 days' time, I'll be ruler of the earth.
Then we get to the doubles room and he says this.
These are not doubles. These are the real people. I've already substituted my robots for them. At this very minute, the world is being ruled by duplicates under my control.
So, wait, he's already replaced some of the world leaders? The communist ones, it seems? You gave the evil scheme a date and everything.
In a week, it'll be April Fool's Day, my birthday. On that day, the order goes out to have all world leaders assassinated, and my doubles take their places.
But the plan was already in motion. How much rewriting can you fit in one movie? Jimmy then lists an ideal world, which is what he doesn't want.
You are for all this?
No, I'm against all this.
Didn't he say...
Where a man, no matter how short, can score with a top broad.
How can he be against the short man top broad thing when his first evil scheme was achieving exactly that?
This germ, when distributed in the atmosphere, will make all women beautiful and destroy all men over 4'6".
I'm so confused. Why am I even trying? The woman then feeds Jimmy with the atomic bomb aspirin and escapes. That's a terrible idea. She's just doomed thousands. Does she think she can outrun a nuclear explosion? But that was the only way to escape, right? No, she just...
Have a real bomb of an evening.
She just walks out? If she could just walk out, why the fuck did she turn on an atomic bomb? You stupid. Bond and Moneypenny have met up with Mata and Coop. Who could forget Coop? And they use the fake set to escape. Ignore there are some 16 scenes obviously missing. Frankenstein shows them the exit and they get to the elevator room.
Martha, put your finger in the tiger's ear.
Tiger's what?
It works the doors.
Here's what a little bad directing and editing does to you.
Put your finger in the tiger's ear.
I had in my notes, tiger's ear. Wasn't it the eye? Because during the world's most useless fight we had a close-up of the tiger's eye. It lowers the room. Later, when they open the door, they do press the tiger's ear, but it's just a negligible detail in a wide shot. It means the director thought the eye was worth a close-up, but the ear, which was mentioned in the dialogue...
Put your finger in the tiger's ear.
Tiger's what?
It works the doors.
3 lines of dialogue wasn't? Why? Might be the editor's fault, but there's no way of knowing. You could solve it easily by just cutting to a close-up of the ear button when it's first used. Or just don't cut to a close-up of the eye. Lose those lines and have Bond himself press the frigging ear, why wouldn't he? Just get them in the room and cut straight to it going up. At this point, who cares about logistics? The women escape and Vesper holds James at gunpoint. Now, this whole movie is a pandemonium, but what will happen next is special.
The American aid, sir. It's arrived.
The cavalry arrives, Indians parachute into the scene, seals fight, a monkey with a wig tastes bubbles. Jean-Paul Belmondo drops in. Keystone Cops interlude.
This gun shoots backwards. I just killed myself.
They could have made a joke out of it. They could have made this guy point the gun at himself to kill someone. Then he pulls the trigger and shoots himself. It didn't shoot backwards after all. He falls down and George Raft laughs and stands up. Oh, remember the atomic bomb? It looks like it destroys only the casino. Is it the puniest nuclear explosion ever, or is Casino Royale made out of fridge? Wait, it killed the women too, who had escaped, so it did blow up the whole town or something. And they spliced some Peter Sellers outtakes into the scene cause he never shot anything else. Anyway, everybody died. What else did you expect? The closing theme's lyrics are adorable.
He's gonna save the world at Casino Royale.
Someone was obviously told, hey, James Bond film, Casino Royale, make lyrics.
James Bond is here.
That's the end of the movie. To conclude, I have no conclusion. This movie exists. It's a movie that was made and released. It cost money, clearly a lot. And it made more. That's my guilty pleasure. What's yours? Now I need to go clean my eyes and probably watch this thing again. Thank you for tagging along. Now go watch something good for me.
These are my credentials.
They appear to be in order.